aka Mouse, in my house and on your screen. Today I'm going to take a look at what I picked up, a lot of what I got for my toy haul of May 2018. Now I'm going to start off with Marvel Legends. I don't have a whole lot of Marvel Legends, but I hope to get more into collecting them as Toys R Us is still in Canada, although it has gone out of business in the United States and in England. It is still here in Canada, so I do hope that I can get my hands on more in the future. But for now, I picked up this one, and they go for about $30 in Canada. They are a little less in America, but you got to think that's $30 Canadian. I'm not sure what the dollar is at as of this video, but I did pick this Spider-Gwen up $20 at a recent toy show that I went to, and it is complete. And I'm not going to go into a huge look at the articulation because this figure has been looked at by other people on YouTube. And of course I have the Gwen Stacy head there. So I just wanted to show that off real quick. I did pick up this Marvel Legends Gwenpool figure recently, and I did get this brand new. So this is what it looks like out of the package. And these have been reviewed in detail, so I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time on this, but I'll give you a quick look. She comes in the package making a little heart shape with her hands there, and she does come with a multiple set of different hands. There's the peace sign right there, and she does come with gripping hands for her sword, an alternate head with her tongue sticking out there. And as for accessories, she has a little, I don't know if you could see it there, a little cell phone there she can hold to make it look like she's taking a selfie. That comes out of the belt there. It's very tiny and easy to lose. I'm not going to take it out right now, but then she comes with this little penguin backpack and the swords that are removable right there. So there's a quick look at her. I am trying to collect a lot of female characters in the X-Men and Spider-Man line. I got another WWE wrestler in the retro characters line. These are made to look like the old retro Hasbro figures that were out in the early 90s. This is Mankind here. I picked him up recently. And they all come with little action features and minimal articulation, but he does have an action feature. That's it there. He swings his arm. And also recently I picked up Sgt Slaughter. Now he is one of the original Hasbro figures, and you can tell that they're done in the exact same style, the small kind of chunky style, cartoonish looking, and he has an action feature as well. You just lift his arms up like that, and he smacks his arm down like that. And I picked him up for about $5, so I thought that was a good deal from a collector show that I went to recently. And if you did not know, Sgt Slaughter was also a G.I. Joe character as well as a wrestling star for a while. I picked up these Sonic the Hedgehog figures recently at a thrift store, of all places. Now these guys are pretty rare, and I've seen them on eBay going up for $40 each or more, which is surprising. They are kind of rare, and just to give you a tip, any action figure that comes out for a video game or a video game cartoon, they seem to become very rare quickly and go up in value. So that's just a little tip for collectors out there. If you do collect video game stuff, they seem to go up in value, so they're a good investment if you want to get into collecting video game action figures and other things related to video games. Now these are small figures, like they're only about 3 inches max, I'd say. Supersonic, Shadow here, Super Shadow, and I forget this character's name, but they are very articulated. They're very thin, so they are posable, but they can be top heavy and hard to stand up. Oh, is he gonna stay? Yeah, sometimes it's hard to stand them up because they do have thin limbs, but they're kind of neat action figures. I think these came out in the early 2000s, but you don't see them around that much anymore. I got a few new vintage Star Wars things recently. I got this droid here. I actually forget the name of him, so if any of you know the name, put it in the comments down below. It's just, I'm blanking out right now to remember the name of him. Most of the time, if you look for this figure, he's missing this arm here. So I picked him up right away, but then after taking a second look, I noticed he is missing one of these extendable arms that come out like this. I guess he's supposed to be like a medical droid, but one of the arms here is missing. I picked up a vintage Wampa figure, and I got this guy for a good price. I paid 15 bucks Canadian for him, and he's not too yellowed. A lot of the old vintage Star Wars figures that are white in color tend to yellow and age over time, but he's not too bad. His paint is still pretty good. So I did not have this guy as a kid, but I am adding him to my collection now. Also in vintage Star Wars, I got this Landspeeder, and absolutely nothing wrong with it. Still has the front windshield there, and if you press this button on the front, the hood opens, and there's a sticker inside there looking at the different parts of the engine there. And there's a little gear shift that shifts the wheels a little bit. They're supposed to go up inside. I'm not sure if it's broken or not. They do still go up inside. It's just the little gear. I'm not sure exactly what it does, if it's supposed to put the wheels up inside, but it does kind of sit and glide, giving that effect that it's floating. I also recently got this Reaction, the Fifth Element figure of Zorg. And if you don't know about Reaction, They are a line of action figures, mostly common in comic book shops and other. I have seen them at Walmart, and I have seen them at Toys R Us, but they're very rare to come by. They're mostly niche figures because they're in the style of the old retro Star Wars figures, but they have a whole bunch of different lines from different movies and things. Karate Kid, The Goonies, Alien, a whole bunch of different lines if you want to look them up. But I got this guy there, unpunched on the card, and I also have, from the same exact set, Lilu from The Fifth Element there. So I have two figures in the set. And here's a quick look at the other figures in the set there. You can get one of the Mangalore aliens. You can get another Lilu. You can get Ruby Rod, the character that Chris Tucker plays. That singing diva that was in the film. All different characters that you can get in that set there. Made by Funko, Super 7, the same company that makes Pop Finals does these figures. And this is Cable. Many of you are excited to see him in the new Deadpool 2 movie, and I'm excited to see him. This is the very first action figure, at least that I know of, made of Cable from the original 90s cartoon. And he is complete with his gun there, and it does turn like that. His arm kind of just pivots to the side. No, not much rotation, but he does come with an action feature, and it's kind of dumb. It's a little karate chop. He put his arm up like that, and there's a button on the back, and just like that, he chops his arm down like that. And I don't think Cable actually knows karate or fights much. He's more of a gun-wielding character, but they always had weird little gimmicks with toys in the 90s, doing little action features like that. So that's what he does there. I do have a big collection of 90s X-Men toys, and I collect 90s Spider-Man toys as well from both of the cartoons there. This guy came out in 1992 by Toy Biz. So that's a look at Cable there. Also from X-Men, I have Cyclops, and he is complete here. They gave him a gun. I don't know why they would give him a gun, since his powers are to shoot lasers out of his eyes. I don't know why he would need a gun unless this is like a tranquilizer dart gun or something. And he does come up with this backpack on his back there, which you can flip up, and there's a little kind of like remote radio headpiece there, and a little antenna on the back. They come off easily, but there's those little pieces there, and there's a button on the back right here, and you can remove this if you like, but the button on the back of this little backpack there actually presses into the back here, or you could have it completely removed and press it yourself. But he does have batteries, and you press the button there, and his fiber optics light up as if he's shooting a laser out of his eyes, just like that. I don't know how good you can see. But that's what he does. and I'm glad he still works and he came with all the accessories. I was looking for this particular figure for a while now because I do have some other Cyclops figures, but this one I remember most from the 90s cartoon, and this is how I remember Cyclops looking with this outfit. So I'm glad I picked him up. Last but not least, I have Ghost Rider. Now I'm not sure if this is the very first Ghost Rider figure, but it is one of the more earlier ones. I think this one did come out in the early 90s as well. I'm not sure if there is a date on this guy. 1995. So I think he's pretty cool. This is the original look that Ghost Rider had. And of course, with all 90s toys, he does have a gimmick where he has an action feature. And I think you twirl his arm around like this, and then he whips his chain when you press this button on his back there. Let's see if it works. Yep, he whips his chain just like that. So that's the feature of this guy. It's kind of silly, but neat that they did that in the older toys. And he has pretty good articulation too. Like, they do bend at the elbows and knees and stuff like that. For an older figure, that's pretty good. Does the head move? Oh, just left and right. But I'm trying to collect a lot of the older Marvel toys, and I seen this guy and I couldn't pass him up. But thanks for watching, and if you liked my video, please rate, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll be back again with another video showing off what I've picked up. Thank you for watching.